Monday. We are live and in color, and it could be morning, afternoon. It could be early Tuesday. We don't know what's happening. Um, we're gonna see what we're working with today. We're coming to you live. There's a lot going on today. Today is the first day of the Diddy court case. For some people that are following that, but I'm not gonna talk about that one right now. But we're gonna get into this live broadcast. I gotta add my sponsors. We're gonna get into something. Let's see what we got. Back one step. We're gonna get into this. So if you're keeping up with these basketball playoffs, this is a good question because now this team is on the verge of getting eliminated. I thought I'd pose a question on it, so we're gonna talk about it. The Cavaliers. If you're a Cleveland Cavalier fan, don't be mad at me. Be mad at your team. Don't be mad at me. Come to be mad at your team. They down 3-1. They have a hard battle against the Pacers. This is going to be a tough battle. They might not come out of it. I don't know. I don't know. It could be a real tough situation. They might not come out of it. This is really real. You fight so hard to get top seed. And could they be like the Atlanta Hawks were a few years ago that had the number one seed and Cleveland swept them in the first round? Because it's just kind of like you just. We're going to find out if what they are. Hello, how you doing? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Tony Cartazola. Anthony Cartazola. What's happening? What's happening? It's got to be a very East Coast name. Very East Coast. Because you don't hear that name in certain places. I'm just saying, but it's a cool name. Yeah. Thank you for coming through. 50%. Okay, good. I don't mind 50%. That means that people are paying attention to it. We got it live. Thank you for coming through. Just starting out the day, just getting some stuff going away. Again, I was talking about basketball. I could have talked about the Diddy case, and there's a lot going to go on with that, but it's just the opening day, so we're going to see how things go. But anyway, the Cavaliers, thank you. Right on. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for the donation. Appreciate that. Thank you for coming through. I really appreciate that. Much appreciated. Thank you so much. Welcome all the viewers. And it's always I am really grateful when people donate, come through, conversation, got words of encouragement. Thank you so much. I am really touched. Thank you. And keep on hitting up those likes and everything too. Appreciate it. What's happening, Bailey Patterson? How you doing? Tell me where you're coming from today. Appreciate you stopping by. Thank you very much. Always glad to have people coming through. Yeah, I'm good. I'm just in chill mode. That's all. Gotta do some grocery shop about an hour or two, but it's all good. Where you coming from today? Seems like it's a good Monday, so it's all good. Feel free to tell me where you're coming from, what's on your mind. Let's see. I'm doing all right. How are you? I'm Welsh. Okay, that's cool. I'm doing good. How are you doing? Thank you for coming through. Thank you for letting me know that you're Welsh too. I appreciate that because it do mean different things if you're in UK territory or people are in the UK. Everybody doesn't want to be classified the same, so it's all good. Just so we know. 75% saying the Cavaliers, yeah, this is not ending well for them. I thought they would tie the series up last night. They dropped a doozy. And then Donovan Mitchell must have looked at that scoreboard and said, oops, I'm gone. Because that was all she wrote. Mm-hmm. And they're in trouble. And they got to go back home. And the Pacers can flat out score. I said the Pacers might be the most dangerous team remaining from an offensive perspective because these guys can score. They can flat out score. That's what they do. They play an ounce of defense, you in trouble. That's what's up. Thank you for asking. How am I doing? Appreciate you. How you doing? And feel free to commentate. I appreciate everyone coming through. We're gonna see how many people come through today. I'd always dictate how long I stay because if I get a good amount, I'm gonna stay longer than an hour. If not, I top it off at the time. But we just want to see because we got visitors coming through, so we just want to see if people want to come in and communicate and see what we're working with. Hope everybody's having a good day. If it's Monday for you, because it depends on what part of the world you're coming in. Some people come from other parts. It's Tuesday. Some people are just waking up, so we just gonna see what we're working with in totality. So it all depends on how you're feeling, how the weekend went for you, what were you into. Some people were coming off of Mother's Day back in America. Some people are having different holiday. Hello, how are you? Thank you for coming through. Welcome aboard. Appreciate everybody coming through today. Trying to get everything lined up. Thank you so much. I think I'll go in green today. Start the week off. Get a little flow. We're gonna see a little flow today. So we got going on. Always good to have people coming through and always tell me about your story and how your day was going and what's happening, where you're coming from, and if you feel like talking, more power to you. gonna see what we got. People are definitely taking this poll, 80%. Yeah, just to comment on it, and for those who just come will eventually hear this playback when I put it on the podcast. Kenny Atkins done a great job, and Donovan Mitchell, but one of the knocks against Donovan Mitchell is that he's always come up short. They got their backs against the wall. The truth is, they should be up 3-1 in this series if they had finished it off. They blew 2 games at home. They blew out Indiana in game 3, and then they got smoked last night. Can't give them no 80 points. See, when you get beat like that this late in the series, you're going to lose. Yeah, you leave those kind of games for the first couple. Anything after game 2 and you get blowed out like that, you don't deserve to be a title contender. So they got their work cut off for them. They got their work cut off for them. I can't see them doing much of anything now. I think it's going to be hard. They got to get up for the game tomorrow, and they might win it tomorrow. They might. I do agree with Charles Barkley. If they win tomorrow night and they get it back to Indiana, the pressure's on the Pacers. So if I'm the Pacers, you got to go finish it up tomorrow night. You do not want to have to go back to Cleveland. And the truth is that these teams are pretty evenly matched. I just think the Pacers got enough firepower. And I think they can make a little bit more of a problem. I think it could be a problem. So we shall see. We shall see. Um, it's definitely got the makings of a long series, though. And initially it should have been, but now if the Pacers finish them up, the Pacers are gonna be tough to beat. I really believe the Pacers finish them up in 5. The Boston, New York, the Boston, New York one is gonna have their hands full. If I'm the Pacers, I look forward to revenge against Boston because we let 2 games slip. If you're a Pacer fan, if you're a Pacer fan, you should be able to beat the Knicks. Because Brunson aside and Cat to an extent, they don't have nothing to mess with you on offense. Not enough to go toe to toe. And you spanked them last year. So I can't see it being anything different this year. So but anyway, we're just getting jumping ahead to that particular topic. Today is also the first day in the Diddy case. So the jurors are according supposed to be in line. It's gonna be interesting what makes it, what doesn't make it. I don't know what that means in English, and if you're gonna address like that, you gotta say what's up, because I don't know what that be meaning. That could be Monday, Friday. I'm gonna assume that it's Monday, Friday. I don't think most people of intelligence and dignity will just address somebody they don't know in that terminology. But we're gonna find out. Give you a chance to tell me what you mean and why would you address somebody like that. We're gonna hope that you're using that to say Monday, Friday, or more friendly, mighty funky. You know, that's what we hope. We hope. We hope people have good home training, good manners, and understand that there's audience out here who don't use certain words. And it's important that you keep it on the up and up, that you show some tact and some class. So we're gonna give benefit of doubt. We hope, because this ain't a comedy roast, so we don't have that on here. And I don't want anybody to come on here feeling they subjected to something that has to be explained, especially if people don't say hello and say well, who they are and what they doing, what their agenda is. So, but anyway, just coming through with that though. Yeah, because I didn't really understand what that meant. I didn't get the totality of that at all. It didn't really register to me that was what was happening. Yeah, it didn't really register to me that what was going on. So yeah. So it's yeah. I was trying to make sense of again, like I said before, it's the first day of his trial, so that should be real interesting. The jury is being selected, how they will be. I've already heard some of them gotten thrown off because some of them done already, been saying that they like you can't escape Diddy without knowing it. You can't escape without not knowing it. So you know who he is. So, but anyway, That's what's up. Anyway, thanks for everybody that's coming through so far and taking the poll and donations, etc., etc. Feel free to come through, introduce yourself, tell me what's up. We can, chop it up, see what's up, and hopefully we'll get more people that will come through and want to not be ghosts and just hit these hallways and got something to say. Hopefully, and that no one will be offensive and that people can come through. So let's just get into it. Yeah. It's one of those kind of days, one of those kind of days, one of those kind of days. We're just gonna take this all in stride today. And sometimes it just stops at the climactic. It just starts. It just kind of goes blank. I don't know. But anyway, we're gonna be here for a little while. See what we got. Give it a benefit of the doubt. If we can get through it, yes, yeah, that's the key. The opportune word, because some days you good, some days you not. So let's see what's going on. Got to see what's up. And like I said before, and again, I didn't. The notices notifications go off at certain times, so we just gonna see what's up. I put this thing on. I never know when people are gonna come through. Again, chances are that I'll probably be out here tomorrow. I pretty much come through every day. So if I can, if I'm not got other obligations, I'm here. So and of course, it eventually ends up going to the podcast, which it will too. But if I can, you can catch my live stream, and you want to connect, feel free. Got something you want to say? This is where I get live. So again, that's the latest. So I hope everybody's having a good day, and we're just kind of taking a moment just to reflect. Hopefully, people will trickle late in here, and then eventually something more will be said. You know, see how everybody's doing now. The ones that are speaking and the ones that are here. What's up? So, ooh, excuse me. Okay. So where were you born? That's a very distinctive name too, Unholy Macaroni. 83% saying yes for Cleveland. I like it when it feels like people are trolling because I'm doing all right. How you? I'm on here for a while. Just want to see what's going on. Pretty chill mode. Just kind of getting the chill mode. See how the day is going. See what the day takes me. That's good. It's always good. Start off the week. Oh, how did that go? That's a big word too. Small word, but a big word. And people talk about they do an exam. That is make your head go woo. And what school level are you in when you say exam? your exam on? Okay. See, I don't know what year 10 means. It means different things. In the United States, that's like a sophomore, like could either be, in high school or in college. It means different things. So I don't know. They have different terminology, but I do know exams are pretty serious. That I do know. Mhm. Well, it's a live stream. Again, I don't really, make sure that everybody hears of an age and whatnot. So just somebody gets offended, whatnot. So it's kind of the same thing, same thing. Except and same thing. 17 high school grad out. It's just that you get to consume alcohol at 18, and you get to go into gambling places at 18. So you've got some things that'll benefit you at a certain time. Mm. It's always something different. Mm-hmm. So, anyway, thanks for everybody that's coming through so far. We're going to see everybody comes through and got conversations and questions. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, we almost done. That's how it is with us. Except we had kindergarten, which is pre first, then 1 through 5, and then middle school is like 6 through 8, and then 9 through 12 high school, and then college can be 4, 8 years. It depends. I understand what y'all say now. Got it, got it, got it. All right, now a few more people coming through. And I will say a shout out to everybody that comes through and supports the channel. There's definitely been more. I appreciate all the viewers, everybody that comes through, the well wishes, the conversations. So thank you. Every time to come through, I want to tell y'all thank you. It's definitely appreciated. All around the world. And ay, 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 ay. Yeah, that's yeah, yeah, yeah. Pre-K, pre-kindergarten. We had K through 5. Yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Wow, that's a work day. That's a work day. But I've done stuff like that as far as work goes, so I understand. That's crazy. Get up at 6 in the morning. Woo, woo, that's brutal. Woo, excuse me. That's a work shift. I've had a work shift like that. at the end because when you gotta go through it, it's no joke. Very long day, tiring, hunger. Depends on what you. It's crazy. I never had no school day like that. Had to get up early and then go do stuff, but never had a school day like that. Very long day. Right. Thank you for coming through. Appreciate you. The best to you. And good luck with your exams. And appreciate you coming through. Hopefully you'll come back again. Appreciate you. Thank you. I always welcome good conversation, good folks, and it's always good to have people that come through and have something good to say and things that go on in their world. So definitely appreciate it. So yeah, there's a lot going on right now. Sure. Give me a drop. I'll be on for a little while longer. I'm gonna see how many people come through. I'll probably, I'll see if there's any buzz. We shall see. We're gonna be in chill mode. It's a long day. Mm-hmm. Anyway, we did some chill mode. We're gonna see what we got. Mm-hmm. I'll probably try to give it another 10 minutes. Unless I see some real pickup, it's gonna be another 10. So we'll see what we're working with. Just checking some stuff out. I never get this right because I never know when people are gonna come, and so nowadays they're not here. Some days they are. come past. It's been kind of quiet lately. I will probably give it about another 9 minutes. See if I see anybody coming through. I got some stuff I gotta read. Mm. Got some news stories. Some more people are coming through. Just trying to see if anybody's coming through. Some people just kind of like on the chill. Hmm. Just kind of in a chill mode. Just trying to see what we got. And so there's a lot going on. Pardon me for like being quiet. I'm just studying some things. I got to read over a few things. It's got more people coming through the visiting, just not people taking the poll. But I did get a thumbs up. Appreciate it. So we'll be returning tomorrow. Hmm. Okay. Okay. I'll give it 5 more minutes. I understand some people come in late, so we will see. And it could just be again because of the time of day. For that. Yeah, I hope everybody had a good weekend. Again, there's a lot going on, so we're gonna find out who we working with. Got some stories to get to run on, and if you don't really get with the live stream, there's always some videos that you can find on YouTube. So feel free to check them out. And there's different forms and formats, so feel free. That's all there is to it today. Just chilling, just chilling, just chilling. Like I said, we're winding down. I'll be on for a couple more minutes. Thought somebody might come through, but no one's come through as of yet. So okay, so we got a couple minutes. I don't foresee anybody's gonna come back. It seems to be today and kind of came and it went. So it looks like I gotta be doing videos today. That's the plan. So if you don't come through, I gotta do videos, edits. Did see another light. That's cool. But hold off, faint hope that somebody come through. Just anyway. Appreciate the more like and the people that came to the poll and to the visit today. Just didn't quite generate the timing with folks. That's all. Sometimes it be that way. Anyway, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. Appreciate everybody that came through. I was gonna wait another 5 minutes, but I don't think it's gonna make a difference. And hopefully, I'll connect with some folks in another day or so. Hopefully, we can connect. What's up? Oh, okay. I was just getting ready to go. Good thing you came. I was getting ready to check out because it'd been dead weight here. What's the deal with what? What you mean? What's the deal? What's the deal with what? You can't give me a question. You don't give me. You just said it and you don't say what's the deal. What's the deal? I need to know what the question pertains to. You said what's the deal, and I'm like, what's up? Oh, okay, 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 okay. I thought you were pertaining to like the Cavaliers or something. I thought it was a basketball related thing. Okay, what's up? Okay, cool. The team that needs to survive. That's who. It's gonna be tough though. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. I think if Boston wins the game, they go to the finals. I'm gonna make a big. And what I mean by that is because this series is gonna be like a mini test against New York. I think this is the one you think is the final series before. So I think they go on a roll. They don't have enough depth. I don't like the way Tibbs runs his offense. And the truth of the matter is, did they get the better end of the deal? Remember when the season started, it looked like Cat was the better end of the deal, but Julius Randle been balling. I think you kind of seen it with your own eyes because Julius Randle's bone. Oh yeah, we know. Well, Golden State, he played good the other night. It's just that you need Buddy Hield. You need Buddy Hield, not Benny Hill, but Buddy Hield. You don't get Buddy Hield to score about 30, 25, 30 points, you don't have a chance. You need uh, Zemsky too. They got no choice because if they lose this game, it's over. There is no other. They don't, and Steph ain't gonna be able to come back in time. They'd have to dress up Steve Kerr to shoot some threes. I'm telling you, they got it cut out. Their work cut out for them. I wouldn't want to be in their shoes. If the Knicks were legit, what's happening? How you doing? Anthony Solomon Porter, ESP. What's up? If the Knicks showed me something, I might, but I'm just not convinced about them. The truth is, if Boston wasn't jiving those first two games, that could very well have been a sweep. Be 3-0 right now. I haven't seen the Knicks really look like they've been focused. They've been behind in every game. If Steph was playing, but I'd still say you need something off the bench, though. That's the only thing that worries me about Golden State. Even if Steph was playing, the bench don't have enough depth. Oh, I understand what Draymond was saying, except they ain't 4 or 5 years younger, and they don't have the bench. If they had gotten Jimmy Butler and say you had a Andre Iguodala or Sean Livingston off the bench and Steph is healthy, oh yeah, oh yeah. OKC's problem is that they're green. They're like the screen. They're green because they ain't really been to the ringers like that. They've outplayed Denver. They should be up. That should be 3-1-4-0. Cause when the last time you know Denver's struggling? Aaron Gordon's got to save your butt 2 games. That's a problem right there. And Jokic is looking burnt. So, but yeah, you're right. And Draymond wasn't wrong. He just the wrong person to say right message, wrong messenger. He got no choice. And as a Miami Heat fan, I already heard Pat Riley's going in on Kaminga's next. That's the word going down. They gonna try to get him. Kerr has no choice. Kerr has no choice because they don't have no one else can score. But you pass Jimmy Butler and then Buddy Hill streaky. What else you got? And your butt would be like a you'd be like a side vendor with no product to sell if you don't have Kamingas. That's how. But they got to give up so much size. They got to give up so much hustle. Minnesota is a problem for a lot of teams because they got size, and if they shoot that thing, you in trouble. You better hope they ain't don't go off, and you better hope Julius Randle stays checking that Gobert don't go off. You know, Nazar, some of them other cats. That's what you got to worry about because they haven't even really put together a real good game yet, and that's the scary part. But they look like they should win this series. They should be, but I just know that Minnesota is green. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Commanders is balling. That's what makes winning champions so hard is they're really so well. That's why I say about Shaquille O'Neal. He's the last one to do it. So that's why I always hold him in my top 5. Why I hold him in high regard. Cause and unlike Jokic, you never heard no one say, "Oh, Shaq was tired. He's getting tired" when he was winning. You understand the totality, but when you see a special team, but again, it's parity out here right now. But it's also a younger man's game too. Let's not kid ourselves. This is the problems that some of these cats is facing. Because it's gonna be a younger team that's gonna be running things. What you seeing now. So if you're a Lakers fan, you better get younger and get some of the right pieces because it's what's up. If you are a Boston fan, you got to stay pat and hope that most of your pieces stick. But it's gonna be tough. That's just the way it is. Golden State's finding it out too, as the LA Clippers are. I tell cats all the time that particular era is gone. It's not coming back. 75% saying yes about Cleveland. People haven't saw some. Oh, a guy named Wilt Chamberlain led the league in assists. So yes, they have. There was a guy named Arvidas Sabonis who could pass just like him too. And Arvidas Sabonis did the same thing, except he was pushing 58 when he came to the NBA, and he still was a better passer than Damon Stoudemire was when he played for that Portland team 25 years ago. Well, he better get his legs in gear because they got their work cut out. I don't think we're watching the same series. And Pacers ain't gonna lose no three straight. I doubt it. I think Cleveland's cooked. It's not about him defending Shaq. It's about the fact that he get worn out. Shaq will play more defense though, and they would stunt Jokic too. I'm telling you, what's happening is somebody putting wood to him. They not let him stand out there and just float around. That's what's up. Denver has just been disappointing though. They look flat against. They look flat in this series. I thought maybe sometimes it's starting to come into view. They're carrying big bodies now. Tristan Thompson playing for Cleveland right now. Zubas is a big boy. Jokic a big boy. You got big boys out there. You got weight out there. It's just that you don't have quality weight. That's all. Because you got guys who are trying to do too much and supposed to make the easy, smart play. And Jokic is getting frustrated as we speak. That's a fact. That's how I look at that. Charles Barkley brought up a good point last night. He said with Jokic, you only got to go one on one. You don't have to double him. He's looking to get you involved with the teammates. Make him shoot that thing. Make him put that ball on the rock and then crowd him and try to hit and pick and poke. And dare Michael Porter Jr. to beat you. Dare Gordon to beat you. Dare them to beat you. Dare Jamal Murray to beat you. I don't know what that means in English, so you got to tell me. That's his problem. And he doesn't really make an effort because he gets drove on, you know. So, and his offense ain't that dominant now where he's not that dominant. I think Elijah could have fell in that clap. But that's not the point. The point is, if he is effective with what he does as an all around player, then everybody cooks, then everybody's working. But if he's not effective, then it becomes like he's stat padding. Then that's the problem you run into. You know what that word means? Somebody came in here. So I think they lost. And that gave me no reason. So until you tell me what that means, I can't keep that in here. Yeah, his problem is that he just doesn't. He flat footed. He just getting exposed. That's all. you know. And I don't want to hear nobody talking about he's better than Shaq or he belong the same sentence with Shaq. I say win, get through this finals and do your thing. Well, I'd say Chamberlain too. But the problem with Jokic is that he been used in this kind of like top of the key in his box, and that's where he plays from, like a conductor. But they don't, again, there were other guys. Could have said David Robinson too. All I know is that Jokic is in a lot of trouble, and they better figure it out. Because if they lose the next game, it's all a matter of time when. And to me, it's there. Well, he doesn't really get up. There's no SGA rule. He doesn't dominate like that. He's got that scoop thing that he does, and he drives on you, but they don't let you put that kind of wood on nobody. I hope you understand. When you say the Jordan rules, that means they put wood on you, let you stretched out. They ain't gonna stretch these guys out. They used to stretch you out, give you a headache. They're not gonna do that. SGA just has to let the game come to him and don't do too much. Play his game, pick and pop, pace. He'd be okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna hold him by what he averages a center. I'm just gonna ask, does he have impact? And what I'm seeing is that he gets frustrated and he can't really motivate his teammates. That's the problem I'm seeing with him because they're not motivated. Oh heck no, that would be like the lowest ratings you could imagine. Oh, nobody would watch that. You know, Adam Silver's just like David Stern. Ain't no way in the world he gonna have some big team in there. You know they cooking up something. I was like, well, maybe. First of all, Boston, New York, one of them gonna go. You know that already. In the West, you know what they want though, right? They would love Boston and Minnesota. Yeah. That's the finals they would want. Yeah. The American against the American. And which one? Because Tatum is playing for his legacy at this stage. Can he get another ring? He always feels like he's the best American player that gets no love, but Anthony Edwards is right there. That's what they like. That's what they like. See, this soap opera writes itself. Write this script. I don't think they woke now. I think they can beat them, but I think they're going to keep doing what they do. They think they can wear them out because New York is only a 2.5 man team. And if we shoot 33s and they can't keep up with us and we get physical, if they don't blow the fourth quarter, they spanking New York's behind. But if New York goes and pulls an Indiana like Indiana did last night, then the series could be over. But I still don't think the series is over. I still think Boston's played better. Unlike that Cleveland Indiana series that Indiana stole the two games and got blew out game three, the Pacers offense is that legit. What's annoying you lately? Do tell me. The difference in that is that the Pacers can actually score. The Knicks can't really score. If you watch, they won one game by under nine by barely the under 95 and they lost a game under five. That they're not in the same caliber or tier. What's annoying you? Do tell. So that's the difference. We still think Boston can come back in this series. Cleveland got a lot of work. Okay, do tell me what's annoying so I can. I have to shrug my shoulders because that, you know, I don't know. I can't even speak on what's a good lottery pick no more. It's hard to say. Things about lotteries and stuff is there's so much politics. They ain't got no advantage. They play. Do you watch Brunson play? And I'm not trying to be funny, but do you watch how hard he has to work? They always have to hustle, and because they don't have no easy buckets, they have no easy buckets. Every game is a battle because teammates that get you going can motivate you. It's kind of like Jordan and Pippen. Pippen had to work his body out to deal with because Jordan said until he can get past those migraines, we can't win. He needed his horses to be lined up and ready to go. So if you're playing with somebody, you got to get them battle tested. If you don't get them battle tested, you're gonna have the same results. So Luca is not what you call a self motivated person, and LeBron is working to try to get him prepare him for because not just next year but for his future. He's like, you got to get yourself together, Buster. Because if the Lakers are going to attract a sidekick to Luca, ain't nobody going to want to play with some dude that's cheeseburgers and fries and corn dogs and relish. And he, halftime, he misses half the season and he eats himself out of game. Nobody want to deal with that. So LeBron's like the last hope that, hey, maybe we can get this Turkish head on straight, do something. But I don't think it can work because LeBron's older. Yeah, he can come back, but he's 40, and he looks it in a lot of these ways. And when the longer he play, you're gonna see a game where he break down, and it's not gonna be pretty because it's already happening. He's one of those kind of players that has an it about him, and he knows he's good like that, and so it comes with the territory. He's getting superstar pamper treatment. Whereas if he played with Pat Riley, he'd be dieting right now. But these people are too scared, and his body might not adjust well to being big. Oh, it's his team because he's the younger man. That's why it's his team. He's the younger man. He's the younger one. About what did he say? I saw what he said about Jordan and Pippen, and I did a video about that. But what did he say? Yeah, it's all about Luca. It's all about him. There's no other way. There's no other way with that. So yeah, I see that, and they always like to. So I'm gonna have to do a video about that. But see, that can be true. And okay, so let me play along. Let me play devil's advocate with that. Yeah, okay. So say that's true, right? But what were the results? What are the results? What's the results? What's the results? That's kind of like when somebody says that yeah, he's entitled to saying that. Sometimes cats say that for two reasons. Sometimes they believe that, and or sometimes that Jordan don't give him the time of day. Scotty was able to go with his left hand, his right hand. He was long, wiry, strong, agile. He could be more. He could be. But what were the results? See, there's a lot of people that are naturally more talented than people. Wilt Chamberlain was probably the most naturally talented basketball player maybe ever. But did he have what Bill Russell had in him? So where do we go with this natural talent? What does it mean? Because it doesn't mean that you're better. We can talk about music artists. You know, that doesn't mean that you're better. You got talents. Everybody's got talents. Now, how do you utilize them? That's all subjective. Scotty could do some stuff Jordan couldn't do, but the problem is Scottie Pippen was never the leader Michael Jordan was. He never could score like Michael Jordan, and he didn't lead a team like Michael Jordan. And I keep going back to that series against the Lakers 25 years ago. He had a 15-point lead, Staples, against Shaq in his peak prime, and Phil, 67-win Laker team and a young Kobe. Because Wilt was a freak. It's just that sometimes you go against somebody that's got a tangible that you don't have. Don't come at me about, oh, you're more naturally talented. Yes, a lot of people can say that. Does that mean that they're better? What are we supposed to do because you're more talented? Does that make you better? See, Craig Hodges, I call him out on that. I'll play along and say Scotty could do things that Jordan could. He could move, but he wasn't the threat as Michael Jordan. Not offensively, he wasn't. So Jordan wins the Defensive Player of the Year, and he's a great defensive player. So what does Scotty do better as a scorer? Nothing. Oh, you had to with Shaq, because Shaq was gonna feast on you. You had no choice. You can't even compare it. Shaq was eating on cats. But I mean, being more naturally talented, I mean, there's a lot of guys they can say it about. You know, what does it mean? There's just sometimes you got guys who can do something better than you can. Doesn't mean you ain't got talent. And natural talent is always subjective to an extent. You know, so it's how you utilize it. And Scotty never scored like Jordan, so that's the problem. He didn't win either. Had he won without him, we got a different take. He had his own squad, and he couldn't finish, couldn't seal the deal. Yeah, I mean, he was a specialist. He could shoot, he could move, he was athletic. Penny could move. Had Penny was like closest thing almost to a modern version of Magic, almost. Except he still had to score about 15 points a game. He wasn't Magic like. All right, I'm gonna be on for 10 more minutes. Got 10 more minutes. I saw the movie. Yeah, Nick Nolte. Mm-hmm. Got it. Go ahead. People talk about natural talent, but again, there's always factors. Like I'll give you an example. Oh, well, in the fictional world, it'll be Rocky gets a love. Um, I like Brian's song a lot. That was deep between two friends. Uh, I think as a kid, probably Rocky. I think it's kind of hard to go against that, especially boxing movies. I just think that there's something about that particular power. Yeah, Clubber Lang. You remember the characters, you remember the way you what you were, and you kind of get into them. I think those kind of movies kind of endure. Boxing did for me. Come here and tell your white woman to come here. Real man. Mr. T was in his peak in his prime. It's funny because back in the day, a bodyguard was a bodyguard. Now these bodyguards today got tell all stories. They need defense. They need a running game. They need Dak Prescott to stay healthy, and they need offensive line to be legit. And I don't. He's good. I don't know if he can make them a contender because I don't think they're better than Washington or most of them do in real life. Of course he would. He fought Hulk Hogan too. That was um, you know, Philly and Washington are still better than all the teams in the NFC North. So I don't know where Dallas is at. Pickens is a head case, so he got to be on his best behavior. Dallas likes them head cases, so we'll see. So Belaine was bringing the pain. Okay. Yeah, up to 82% saying yes, fake the phone. Yeah, because back then it wasn't all friendly. Could you imagine being friendly with Putin to back then? They were, Reagan and them wasn't doing that. That's a different era. Because he was a head case and he thought he was Antonio Brown and he ain't, and he acted belligerent and ornery. And Mike Tomlin wasn't gonna go for it. They went through that with AB, and they don't have a Ben Roethlisberger quarterback. They're not as good as they were then, so they can't afford to deal with a head case. The cat's been there for 3 years and he ain't like a diva. It was different when Roethlisberger and them guys were there and they were legit. Yeah, Nick Nolte did good. He did good. Nick does good character acting. He always plays the tough, ruckus kind of guy, kind of like a Bobby Knight type of role. I know what he was doing. Nick Nolte always act like he drunk though, or smoking something. Okay, we got about 5 more minutes. Have you ever seen 48 Hours with him and Eddie Murphy? Mm-hmm. Nick Nolte back in the day. So that's what he did. But yeah, they weren't glorifying Russia like they do now. That's if you lived in that time period, that alone is kind of like a mind blower. When did Russia get be so friendly? Mm-hmm. But yeah, Sylvester Stallone plays the All American role. He's one of Trump likes him a lot. It's a typical old school Italian cat being conservative, but not much real talent in his head. But that's what they like. Plus, he's got a lot of similarities too. Mm. Okay. Well, of course you'd say Lamb and Pickens because only because Dak is a better quarterback than what Pittsburgh's got. That's the only reason. Joe Nixon is old now, though. Nixon is older now. He's long as tooth as Ezekiel. They got to get their defense on track. I love that movie too. I said football movies, boxing and football movies are probably the best. Any Given Sunday did wonders for Jamie Foxx's career, and even Cameron Diaz wasn't bad in it. I don't know what the Cowboys are gonna do, but I just don't think they're on par with Washington and Philly in the NFC East. Yeah, they didn't like each other, and Diddy almost had the role at the quarterback. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah. If you Rolling Stone magazine, you got to Google it. There's a cover of Puffy on the cover wearing an outfit And yeah, he would. And they were up for the role. He was up for the role because he did the cover Rolling Stone dressed up in the outfit, pretty much. And Jamie Foxx beat him out for the role. Cause you know Diddy acts. He been in movies. Yeah. So oh, I forgot. That's why I meant. That's probably the best. That's the best right there. And I watched that the other night. That's the number one. Because Rob De Niro was great in it. Martin Scorsese's film work was incredible. I told you, boxing movies and football movies are my favorite sports related. Those are my favorite too. I did like King though. Yeah, with De Niro. I did like King with Will Smith and about Serena and Venus. I like that a lot too. But Raging Bull, yeah. Jake LaMotta. That whole thing with Sugar Ray Robinson was crazy. Yeah. Yep. So that is my number one. I knew it was a boxing movie. I just hadn't put my thinking cap. Boxing and football though too. Baseball is usually exaggerated when it's a movie. Even though 42 was good and Bingo Long the Traveling All Stars was good. I like them, but they kind of don't really get into all the full depths of what went on. Basketball ones are kind of hyperbole. You know, they kind of got a lot of. You know, I did like He Got Game, but there's a lot going on. Yeah, I like that one. That was Will Smith, one of his best movies. So I like that. I did. I like that from a hustle perspective, you know, because if you understand about the street hustle, about that, kind of like playing pool, I like that. And I like He Got Game. Two different types of films, but same hustle. But the rim could have been even better if it had been a little more fleshed out. Basketball movies tend to be about hustling, though. See, that's the thing about them. So they, you know, too long, and I think Will kind of lost me. He did all right in parts. He looked like him, but he didn't really get the juice. Rudy was okay. It was okay. Ali could have been a type movie, but he went a little too far in there. I did like Jamie Foxx's Howard Bingham though, but I think they didn't really get the Ali film tightened. They missed. They just missed the mark. It's one of those close but no cigars. Okay. Rudy was alright. It was alright. Yeah, I saw that too. I did the one with Rosie O'Donnell and Madonna back in '92, A League of Our Own, which was based on a true story, was cool. But baseball movies tend to be kind of hokey though. I did like The Natural as a kid, but they kind of be kind of hokey. So I'm just saying. Yeah, I saw it. I didn't, you know, again, car movies are cool, but again, they don't have the same trajectory unless you went to them. But there's something about boxing and football ones that just hit me a little bit. They just hit a little bit more for me because you very seldom gonna get a movie about other sports that you know. Basketball is always about a hustle, and baseball is always magical. And the King Richard one was good. It was good, but yeah, the horse racing. Hmm. Okay, I'm going out in a couple minutes. This time I gotta go in a couple minutes. If If y'all come back tomorrow, I will definitely be back tomorrow. That's the plan. I'll be on for a couple of minutes though, but I'll come back tomorrow. We'll talk about what happens tonight. You know, I picked the game to talk about. I was torn about Jokic, but I went with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I thought because I got some feedback already on one of the videos. I got to address it because someone was upset. Said, well, at least Atlanta Hawks went to Eastern Conference Finals when they got uh, beat by Cleveland. I said, well, yeah, but they ain't had no Donovan Mitchell though. Millsap wasn't no Donovan Mitchell, so it's a big difference when you Paul Millsap. There's a big difference when you got Donovan Mitchell. So he was a great actor. He had a great vocal range. He was an inspiration for Denzel Washington. He did, but I don't look at it as a sports movie per se. Field of Dreams was good. I'll give you that. Soldier Story was very intense because oh God, I can't even think of his name now, but he was really a great actor in that movie. He really was. He had the Howard Rollins, and at that time he was a better actor than Denzel Washington. If you'd have gave me who I would have put money on, who would have blew up out the two at that time, it would have been him. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, no, it was Howard Rollins. He was the main actor that prosecuted Denzel. He was the better actor to me at that time. He ended up doing Madlock. Anyway, I'm gonna give her a call of the day though. I will be back tomorrow, and we will intervene tomorrow. So um, appreciate everybody, and we're gonna talk about what we see tonight. We'll cover one of those playoff games. I'll have the heading and everything. Thanks for everyone that came through. Thanks for the donations. Yeah, yeah. So we'll wrap it up, and we hope Jimmy Butler comes through because it's gonna be big. It's pretty much do or die tonight. And you better hope Buddy Hield is your X factor, and Pazinga got to go off too. And tell Draymond Green don't do a triple single. Don't do 2 points, two flagrant fouls, and get your butt thrown out because it could be problematic if you do tonight. So you better make sure Draymond comes ready to party because he's gonna be key. But Buddy Hield and them got to step up to match Jimmy Butler. If they come out flat, it could be a long night. And you know Minnesota hasn't even gotten off yet. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. All right, so till next time, peace the best. Thanks for coming through. Peace. Appreciate everybody. Peace. I'm out.